Speaker, I'd like to say a few words this morning about the work that we've been doing here in the House to add workfare requirements to the food stamp program. Ronald Reagan once stated, "The federal government declared war on poverty, and poverty won." That is as true today as it was when President Reagan said it. Over the last 5 decades, Congress has spent more than $22 trillion of taxpayers' money on the government welfare programs. The result, 50 years later, the poverty rate stands unchanged. If anyone ever needed proof that more government isn't the solution to every problem, here it is. It's the proof. If you were to measure success solely on how much taxpayer money the government spends to solve a problem, then government's war on poverty has been wildly successful. After all, we now have 13 federal agencies running more than 80 government welfare programs. But if we judge success based on how many people have been able to rise out of poverty to take care of themselves and their families, these government programs have failed. So what have we learned after spending $22 trillion? It's simple. Workfare helps people stand on their own 2 feet. It helps people get off the welfare treadmill. For example, before Congress reformed the Temporary Assistance to Needy Families, also known as TANF, to incorporate a strict work requirement, there were 4.9 million families on the welfare rolls. Now, thanks to workfare reforms, we've seen 3.3 million families rise out of welfare dependence, and that's a success. In 2014, when Maine began enforcing workfare for able-bodied adults without dependents who are receiving food stamps, the Maine caseload decreased by 80% within months. This simple requirement that able-bodied adults without dependents should work in order to receive welfare benefits, paired with job search assistance and training opportunities, works. It gets people out of welfare and into the workforce. And we have learned that it makes a profound difference in people's lives when they understand that welfare is not meant to be a handout, but actually a hand up. Now, we need to apply these lessons about the benefits of workfare to more government welfare programs like food stamps and housing. That is especially important today because with the economy growing thanks to tax reform, job openings recently hit a record high of 6.6 million, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And by taking a stand for workfare requirements, we now have an opportunity to move millions of Americans from reliance on welfare to work and financial independence. I commend the House for passing a farm bill that includes a strong workfare requirement for able-bodied adults without dependents. We have opened the door to welfare reforms that will help put people on the road to self-reliance, and I encourage my colleagues to build on this foundation and continue to stand up for workfare instead of welfare. With that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time.
Yields back. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Oregon, Mr. DeFazio, for 5 minutes.